Right, and we are live. Welcome to this week's edition of our Facebook Live event. I'm Stuart Calder. I am Head of Sales and Marketing here at Netready. And for a living, we help multi-level marketing business owners help people all across the world put food on the table and a roof over their heads. Richard, how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you again too.
Yeah, it feels like a second in time and we were here doing the last one.
It's beautiful. And what's even more beautiful is the second week using our instruments in front of us here. How cool are these mics?
Yeah, I must say, hey? And I believe they sound really good.
I think they do.
I haven't listened back to what we've done with them, and I love these new low-profile arms. I think they're absolutely amazing.
We're feeling like Joe Rogan at the
Oh,
moment.
yes. Wouldn't that be nice?
We had to bring him in. He is brilliant. He's an epic podcaster. So we'd love listening to all of his content. Maybe one day when we're big, we can be like him.
No, you wonder when we're very big.
When we're very big.
Yeah, he's using an arm called OC White.
Mm.
And those things are like $10,000 a pop. They're like hugely expensive. So one day we'll have to be so solidly big before I'm prepared to spend that kind of money on a boom arm. But these ones are really amazing. They work incredibly well.
Yeah, no, this is beautiful. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition. We've got an exciting episode, and it relates to everyone building a multi-level marketing business and then training their people on these important aspects. So what are we speaking about today? We're speaking about prospecting and building a list and continually adding to this list. Sorry, there was something that you wanted to say about this earlier.
Well, the thing is that traditional MLM, the guys go out there and they make a list of their family and their friends.
Right.
And they've got 10 people on their list. Then they go and talk to those 10 people, and they're not very good at talking to them. And none of the 10 people want to join. And then they think, oh, well, 100% of people rejected me. I'm out of here.
Sure, yeah.
And so what you want to do is you want to create a situation where you can literally turn a tap on and outpours leads. And if you just use a standard strategy, you're guaranteed that if you put this much in, this many agents come out.
Right.
So that for me is what this is all about today.
And I guess the key to the communication that you're going to be having with your team, your prospects as you bring them on, is that they need to take this business seriously. Multi-level marketing is a serious business, and you need to get their commitment to say, well, I'm prepared to work hard in this business. I'm prepared to learn from you. I'm prepared to use the company tools that can help me prospect and grow my team. But I need to be prepared to work hard, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like anything in life, you get nothing for nothing and very little for 10 cents. So the guys have got to work at it, and they've got to take it seriously. If they don't take it seriously, they're not going to succeed. End of story.
Yeah.
So you can, again, it's a whole, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Of course.
So you can provide the network with all of the tools, but unless they use the tools and do the actual work and put in the effort, that's it.
Yeah. And it goes down to setting that expectation once again. I'm prepared to show you how to run your business, but you need to prepare to become successful in spite of yourself.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, again, it's a case of, and for me, it's a belief thing, okay? If you believe heart and soul that if you put the effort in, you are going to succeed, then you'll put the effort in. If you're in doubt that you're going to succeed, then it's very difficult to put the effort in.
Sure.
So the whole thing, it starts with, and we did this the other day, is this a real business? I think that was our last podcast that we did.
Yeah.
Is this a real business? And you've got to view it as a real business, and you've got to take it as seriously as if you'd put the millions of dollars in and make it work.
Right.
And now, what this is all about today is one of the tools that are available to you to literally recruit on demand. Not to have to worry about your family, not to touch your family, not to talk to your family about it. Just recruit on demand, because there are methods to do that without having to resort to destroying relationships or burning friendships or whatever.
And it's unfortunate that within the multi-level marketing industry, business owners recommend to their people that they go and approach family and friends first. It's kind of the same with traditional business like printing and automation. Office automation. It's we recruit someone when they're young and excitable. They're 21 and
they go and sell to their friends and family.
And that's what happens.
And then they're out the business.
It's because it dries up.
Exactly.
The pool of friends and family dries up, and then they just move on. And it's a great technique by the office automation industry. However, it's not a sustainable one if people are looking to get
Sounds
into
like
this.
you've got some experience there.
I do. I'm not going to mention who in my family owns an office automation business.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yes.
Of course they do.
Okay, well, let's get into this. So one of the things that we do when beginning out as a new network marketer is we want to build a comprehensive list of people that we can speak to. Now, this doesn't have to be, that's the key here, is it doesn't have to be a list of people that we have to speak to. What we're trying to achieve here is that we're trying to build a list. And we're trying to build a comprehensive one. So the first note that I've got
And
here,
you want to add to that list all the time.
continue adding.
Yeah.
Because if you're not continually adding, then you don't have a business. You don't have people to talk to.
Exactly.
Okay. So I love what we've learned from one of the audiobooks that we've read is that if you can read as well as listen, so read on your Kindle and listen through Audible, that you absorb the information far more than you would if you just read.
Yeah,
or
it's
you
a
just
much more
listen.
effective way of learning.
So what
Absolutely.
we're trying to achieve here is that I want to put a list of all the talking points, and then I want to discuss these.
Okay.
But I want to fly through them just so we can understand what each of these points means.
100%.
Okay. So the first one is list every person that you can think of. So right now, in your phone book, you've got hundreds of people that are sitting there waiting to be added to that list. You've got not friends and family,
Thousands.
you've got thousands.
Yeah.
I mean, if I open my phone book right now, there is over 1,000
Yeah,
people.
but that's you, Stuart. I mean, and I'm sure there's much more than 1,000 people.
The
by a long
Navy.
shot.
But we want to add all those people to that list.
Yes. Regardless of whether they potential or not.
Sure. Again, we want to start adding people to the list so we can create a comprehensive list of people that
Yeah, exactly.
we may or may not speak to. The idea from then on is to understand where their sphere of influence lies.
So who do they know?
So who do they know?
Yeah.
Right? So let's run the example of if I have 10 people in my phone book, which I don't, I have a few more, I add them to this list, and then I find the 10 people that they know in their sphere of influence.
So now you've got 100 people on the list.
Okay.
And if you can find the 10 people they know,
There you
you've got
go.
1,000 people on the list.
And again, we've got
Exactly.
10,000 people.
Exactly right.
And that's just 4 iterations of sphere of influence. So it's a great way to start building this comprehensive list.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing is listing all the organizations that you interact with. Now, on a daily basis, you may be involved with church groups, clubs like the Lions Club or societies, or you may know people part of a wine club or a book club. All these group gatherings of people that are potential prospects or additions to this comprehensive list, right?
Exactly.
And the key here is that we want to be focusing, always aware and focusing on where the group gathering lies within all of these organizations.
Yes.
Because
And having a strategy to strike up the exact conversation that will result in that person getting added to the list.
right, and this is something that we've got as more the scripting section of how to go out and approach these potential prospects to add to the list, and we're going to get into that in the later slides. So I think, for me, I always want to become aware of where group gatherings lie in various organizations, right? So if I can feel confident that I want to go out and become part of these organizations and associations because there are a number of people that I might be able to attract within the business, I need to feel confident that I can go into become part of those organizations and then start recruiting people.
Exactly.
Okay. The next thing is we want to list the service providers. So who are these people? They are the electricians, the plumbers, they're the mechanics,
Your hairdresser.
your hairdresser, the waitresses, the waiters. Anyone that is providing a service to you is a potential prospect in addition to your lead list. Okay?
Okay.
So
Sorry, I'm trying to get myself a bit more comfortable here.
we've noted that we want to kind of keep this far. So
Well,
if we can-
our guys bombed on us because we didn't keep our microphones close to us. So. Okay.
So I think you can see now there's a whole bunch of channels that we can tap into in which to build this lead list, and we want to make it as comprehensive as possible. And the final point is we want to ask them, well, who do you know? Where is their sphere of influence, and where does that lie? Because if we can continue to compound on this list building, then we'll have enough people to talk to in your business will then become a success.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and the idea is that when you're adding to the list is not to judge the people,
Sure.
just add to the list.
Yeah.
Because if it's like a friend who would never, ever, ever join an MLM business, you can say to them, listen, I know this is not for you, but you're so amazing and I'd like to get your opinion. Do you mind if I practice on you? So you can still pitch the idea to somebody who you think would never, ever join. And then at the end of it, you can say, well, now that you know what it's about, do you know anybody who you think this would be good for? And then you can extract leads from that person. So even a person who's definitely never going to do it, there's an opportunity to use their leads. And if you do a brilliant job with that person, even though you know they won't join, then they're going to open their cell phone up, and there's 1,000 leads there that you can get access to.
Right. And this comes back to that indirect approach. And I love what you did with your business, Acorn Kids, and the lift example.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we've spoken about this, but please take us through that again, because I think it's so important to understand that there is an indirect approach, not only going to Richard and saying, would you like to be part of this business, but...
Well, it's about connecting with people. That's the whole thing here, is you making a connection, whether it's an online connection or it's a personal connection or it's a complete stranger. You need strategies to connect. So I'm going to give you 2 examples. When I was a kid, I was extremely shy. I mean, like shy off the charts.
Yeah.
I couldn't even look at a girl in the eyes. I was so shy. Anyway, my mate and I had a competition to see who would be the first one during the December holidays to get a girlfriend. Now, he was this buff flipping dude that played first team rugby, and I was this skinny little runt, muso type dude. And so I needed to come up with a strategy. And so what my strategy was is I printed out a document and I went and stood at the local shopping center. And the first pretty girl that came my way, I said, "Hi, I'm from the Singles Club. Can I ask you a few questions, please? What is your name? What is your telephone number? What are you doing on Friday night?
Yeah.
Do you have a boyfriend?" And the first time I got the right set of answers, I said, "And can I take you out?" So that was the strategy. And of course, I won the bet, just by the way.
Yes.
Won the bet.
Because you had strategy.
Because there's a strategy. Now, the same thing with Acorn Kids. Again, it's difficult to overcome your own fears. So how do you walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, I want to talk to you about a business opportunity"?
Yeah.
So what I developed for our team is a mechanism where you walk into the lift and you say, the doors close, you just say, "You're probably wondering why I called this meeting." Now you practice that in the mirror. It's a quick sentence. I promise you, there's a whole lot of chuckles, and somebody's going to say, "Okay, why did you call this meeting?" And then all you want to do at this point is tell them why you called the meeting. And why you called the meeting is because you're looking for full-time people or people who want a part-time business selling or marketing. Yes. And you just dish out your card. So we were selling children's bath products.
Yes.
So I'd say we're looking for full-time moms who would like a part-time business. If you know somebody who's a full-time mom who wants a part-time business, won't you please give them my card?
Yeah.
And so, first of all, that had an impact. The second of all, people took the card because I was handing it out to them. There was a huge a chuckle and a lot of humor. Yeah. It took me 30 seconds. By the time we were at the first floor, the doors opened, I'd given everybody my card and I got out. Yeah. So the bottom line is that you can create strategies for connecting with people and getting leads without using the mechanisms that you're going to talk about next. So there is the real world. Yeah. You were talking about your servers or your electrician. "Hey, I don't have a lot of time to talk now, but you just did an amazing job on my electrics. You did an incredible job on my hair. I think you're going to be brilliant at this new business I'm involved in. If I send you a link, would you take a look at it?" Sure. You know? Yeah. It's a simple, easy strategy to literally recruit on demand. Yeah. So that's just the actual connection with people. Yeah. Which you're discussing over there.
And it's developing that level of awareness, and this is something that we're going to go into now, but it's developing the awareness that every interaction that you have with people is a potential opportunity to add them to your lead list.
Exactly.
Interacting with someone in the lift, interacting with a service provider, someone within an organization. If you can be on high alert all the time that you're having between 10 and 20 interactions with new people every single day, and understanding that they could be prospects to your lead list, that is when you're going to become a successful list builder and network marketer.
And the second thing is, don't let fear cause you to fail. So I'm terrified of heights, literally terrified. My legs go weak and my stomach is in a knot, and I can't even go near the edge.
No, I'm the same.
So I have this real fear of heights. But when we were in Europe, there were a number of cathedrals with incredibly high sort of vantage points that you could look out from. And the one was the Netready in Paris.
Yes.
And I walked up that. I was not going to stop myself seeing that view because I was scared of heights.
Yeah.
My legs were like jelly the whole way up the stairs. Every time I got to one of those cutout windows, there's bars in those windows.
Yes.
Okay, so
You
there's no
cannot
chance.
go through.
I was like walking against the wall to try and keep away from it. But the bottom line is, when I got up there, the view was spectacular. You got this incredible view of Paris. You know, if I didn't overcome that fear, I wouldn't have got that view. So the point I'm trying to make here is sometimes it is a bit daunting to get into a lift and say, you're probably wondering why I called this meeting.
Yes.
Or, hey, you did a great job on my hair. I've got this amazing business. If I send you a link, would you take a look at it?
Right.
Takes a little bit of effort to overcome that fear of connecting with a person. But if you do it 10 or 20 times, you get used to it, and after a while, it just becomes second nature.
Well, I think that's what it is. Fear is lack of confidence in that pitch. So if you can do it a whole bunch of times in the mirror, and then just go out and do it, commit to doing it.
Exactly.
Fear is an irrational feeling. So if you can just commit to doing the strategy and implementing the strategy that business owners have set out, you'll become successful.
And the first time you'll be useless at it.
Yes.
By the 10th time, you'll be better. By the 50th time, it'll just be natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we want to do from this point on, we've started building our comprehensive list, but then we want to continue adding to this list. Because if you're not continue adding, then we run out of people to talk to and we don't have a business.
Exactly.
I've mentioned paying attention to the people around you that you connect with. Every single interaction needs to be a potential prospect or addition to your lead list. And I've mentioned about the high level awareness that you need to be having with every interaction. What we like to propose is that you add at least 2 people to your list every single day. Now these numbers start adding up. If you can go through organizations, service providers, people on your list, the interactions that you have every day, you can add at least 2 people to the list every single day.
And this is just manually. We're not even getting into the technical ways of doing it. This is just people you meet.
Yes.
You know?
So we looked at this 6 days a week. Let's say we work Monday to Saturday. That's 600 people added to a lead list every single year. In 5 years, it's 3,000 people on a lead list that you have the opportunity to speak to. And if we can convert some of those people, that sounds great.
Exactly. And get creative with this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a friend of mine, he did a couple of things. One, he went to show houses on the weekends. And every time he walked into the show house, he'd look around, and just as he was leaving, he'd say, hey, I mean, you're doing an amazing job here. I've got a business that I'm really interested. I think you'd do well in. If I send you a link, will you take a look at it? And he did that on his. I don't have time to talk now, but if I send you a link, what is your cell phone number? Let me send it to you now. And he would just go around and see, you know, estate agents or people who were selling him in shops. He would go and check out a new cell phone, and then he'd say, yes, you're doing a really good job here. I think you'd be brilliant in a business I'm starting. If I send you a link, would you take a look at it? So you can literally just go shopping in a mall, and you can go from place to place and bump into 10 or 20 shop assistants. You can go out on weekends to real estate show houses. There's just tens of thousands of places where, if you want to, you can meet people, and you can. It's a strategy. You just run the strategy out, get them to use the company's tools, and off you go.
So what is your word of advice to business owners? Is coming up with all of these strategies you just mentioned, and then being able to teach them to your network.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the 2 things that come with that is, number one, your people become successful.
Right.
And if they're successful with you, they don't leave. So you get retention. Your retention goes through the roof. If you train them and you show them how to be successful in your business, then you retain them. And it's much easier to retain a person than to keep on bringing new blood into it. If your churn rate is high, it's exhausting. You know, you look at your user list, and 100,000 people on the list, but only 1,000 of them are selling, and that's just down to the fact that the guys don't know what to do.
Yep.
The company tools are not right. They're not able to prospect. They've asked their family didn't join, they're gone. So this is all part of what we're doing here now.
Right. I got a call from a call center agent yesterday, and I thought, what a beautiful opportunity this is to turn around a sales call directed at you to a potential person to add to your lead list.
Yeah. And you can say to them, wow, you're amazing.
Yeah.
If I send you a link, will you take a look at it? It's easy to do, hey?
It's easy to do.
And they're on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give you a number, and then you can pop that link through on WhatsApp.
Exactly.
And set a time with them
To follow up.
To
connect with them, yeah.
And this is one of the processes that we want to go through here.
Exactly.
Is establishing a phone call through one of the platforms we want to discuss. What is vitally important here to everyone listening is that when we're building this prospect list, the key here is to not go out and approach them until you've had the sufficient training from the company.
Yeah, you don't want to burn the leads.
Because you'll just burn those leads.
Yeah.
You'll lose them forever.
Exactly right.
Because you don't know what you don't know until you don't know.
Yes, exactly right.
And until you've got that training and you are an efficient salesperson, then burning those leads it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're not actually selling, hey? So, that's actually a misnomer. What you're doing is you are educating.
Yeah.
And so that's why salespeople generally are not great at this business.
Yeah.
Educators are much better at this business, because what you want to do is you want to move from one connection to another. They call it exposures.
Yes.
So you want to expose the person to the opportunity or to the product.
Yeah.
And you want to set up an appointment for the next exposure. So that's what you're actually doing. You're educating. Expose until the person's at a point where they're wanting to get involved. And so you're not actually selling in this space. You're just exposing people.
Right.
So, I would just, from my perspective, if and we are,
yes,
setting up a network, I would make sure that everybody realizes that you're not trying to close these people.
Yeah.
You're just exposing them to the opportunity.
Right.
And until such time as they're ready to make that buying decision.
Yeah. Because in this space, to be a salesman and have that hard close, we don't want to be doing this. We want people to be 100% dedicated to coming into this business with the intention of generating an income, a residual income for themselves.
And also realizing this is a long-term play.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a 2-week play. So when you get involved, if you've been exposed to the opportunity more times, your whole belief system in the opportunity, your belief system in the products gets to a point where you're saying to yourself, actually, this is something I could do.
Right.
Whereas if I hard close you, you might buy in, but you don't have that belief system. It's not locked in.
Yeah.
So, we're getting off topic here, but
sure.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, well, let's go into the next way in which we can start building our list, and that's through the platform of social media. Now,
this is the thing that it just blew me away, Stuart,
it is
when
incredible.
you came up with this idea.
This is unbelievable for our business and for everyone out there listening. We need to be activating social media. We need to dive into this now. Now, the beautiful part, or the most powerful part about social media, is that there's 1 million people sitting on social media right now.
Millions of people.
Millions and millions of people. And they're at your fingertips. Now, you can also prospect from the comfort of your couch. You don't even have to leave your house. Now, in traditional
you just
MLM,
need a strategy.
You just need a strategy in which to approach people on social media.
And there's guys being unbelievably effective out there.
Yeah.
Just going through social media and building their entire business from a social media platform.
Right. So we definitely suggest using social media, but there's channels like Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, WhatsApp that you can use to start building this lead list on the back of a strategy that's been created for you by the company owners.
Yeah.
I want to dive into another one of our social media platforms that we've found the greatest success. There's been recommendations from key players with serious experience within LinkedIn. And we've identified the 4 reasons why LinkedIn is the most powerful recruitment platform within social media. Okay? So I'm just going to quickly open the 4. But Forbes.com says that LinkedIn is by far the best recruitment platform on social media. Okay, that's not something that we've said. That's a stat that Forbes.com has created. The other thing is that LinkedIn is 277% more effective for recruitment than Facebook.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means that if
That
you
means I must focus on LinkedIn. That's for damn sure.
But what it also means is that for every one person that I'm able to recruit through Facebook, I'm recruiting 2.7,
nearly 3 people.
3 people more on LinkedIn.
Well, that's exactly right. So it's a 1 to 3 ratio.
So would you not focus your efforts through
Makes
LinkedIn?
complete sense, doesn't it?
What's happening here?
Wow.
Well,
this stuff that you're sharing now,
Yeah.
when you shared it with me, I was like completely and utterly stunned.
Yeah.
It blew me away. And I realized that if everybody just focused on this method of getting leads, that they would literally have a successful organization. I mean, the numbers are just crazy.
Yeah, it's so powerful, and one of the key reasons why it is so powerful is that there's over 800 million people sitting on LinkedIn right now.
Good heavens.
And these are all professionals. These are CEOs of companies. These are surgeons. These are people with high professions. They can all be contacted and added to your lead list. And adding someone with that caliber to your list and recruiting them, they'll set your network alight.
Exactly.
The final reason why LinkedIn is such a great success is because it is 94% more effective for content distribution. So when you're putting out content on your excellent products, let's say interesting content that you want to put out in groups. So when we connect with various groups, we can put content that relates and has synergies with the people within that group. Right, 94% more effective for people actually reading and absorbing that content, rather than something like Facebook where I'm speaking to my friends really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so the nice thing is you reach out to somebody. You reach out to them. Oh, no, that's pretty cool. Hey? So you reach out to somebody and you've got a good chance of them actually reading your content or consuming that content.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So
here we go.
The
exciting stuff. This is the part that's been kind of
okay,
can't wait to get to.
This is very exciting. So there's a book that we've both gone through. We've read it and listened to it, and it's done by the author Scott Aaron, and he's a LinkedIn specialist, and he's got a book called LinkedIn Strategies for Network Marketing Recruitment.
Yes.
I think that's the title, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is Caleb's going to post that into the Facebook live chat in the comment section, so you have access to that. We recommend listening to that book, reading that book, because it is
everything
unbelievable.
Excepting the last chapter.
Well, yes. If we had to do a book review on that, we'd say the last chapter is more of a sales pitch for Scott Aaron's book and downloading it and becoming part of his course.
For his services.
Yeah.
So the first sort of, I don't know, let's say the 10 chapters, the first 9 chapters are absolutely amazing. The last chapter is just one big punt for his services, which I must say I didn't enjoy. That side of things I didn't enjoy. But the rest of the book, definitely worthwhile reading and getting into. And I think for those people who want to utilize his services, I think that he actually didn't need to punt so hard. I think people would have just actually gone to him.
He'd built up so much credibility up until that point.
It's amazing,
And unfortunately, and I appreciate your honesty, because in book reviews we need to be as honest as possible to give our honest opinion.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is it. But the book is unbelievable, and the key insights that he provides, I mean, it's so fascinating. So we've implemented it with Dream Team, and this is information that we want to share with the world. Okay. What he did in 30 months is establish 25,000 connections. Now, what is a connection? A connection is when I go out and search for people that have synergies with my personal self, my product offering, my business. I then request, and we're going to go through the whole search now, so I can give you a live visual. But I can then request for us to connect.
That's a connection. So
that's a connection.
He did 25,000 of those.
Yes.
Maybe they came back to him. Maybe they didn't.
Yes.
Okay.
So he has sent out 25,000 connections, right?
So they're like a request for a connection, not actually a connection.
Correct. What happens on your side is that you would get a notification either through email or the notifications tab in LinkedIn that I've sent you a request. You can then click on my profile and do a full analysis of my profile, which we're going to go into, and you can establish if you are wanting to connect with me or not. All right?
Okay.
And that's what Scott Aaron did. What he did through that process, and there's a whole structure to what you do every single day of the week, but he had 40 conversations that he was having on LinkedIn every single week.
And that's via typing, hey? Just messaging.
Yes. So it's, LinkedIn's got a thing called InMail.
Okay.
And when sending messages, you send it through InMail. And this is direct messaging, my new connection. Right?
Okay.
He was having 40 conversations a week.
Yeehaw.
How amazing is that?
That is absolutely incredible. I mean, every MLMer wishes they could have 40 conversations a week.
Of course. And there was strategy
It's
to
like
the conversation.
160 conversations more or less a month. Now, that's a lot of conversations.
That's good math as well.
I know, I'm awesome.
Of those 160 conversations that he's having, he was recruiting 6 quality people into his network every single month. Now, what is the industry average on recruitment for a network member?
I think it's 1.25 people per networker in their lifetime.
In their lifetime.
In their lifetime.
He was doing 6 a month.
So the average is the guy joins. On average, only 1.25 people will join.
And in his team.
In his team, ever.
Yeah. Now those are low stats, but you can see if you're adopting strategies like this, that recruitment rate is going to go through the roof.
Well, I mean, if each of your people were doing this, I mean, what would your numbers be? Do you have a?
So thank you for asking that.
Oh, it's up there.
Because
Sorry,
I've actually got a table. Is that in month 1 we were recruiting 6 people.
Yeah.
In South Africa, the industry average for income generated per member is 500 rand.
Okay.
So that's 3,000 rand that your team is now generating per month. What happens in month 6? So if you're able to train your 6 recruits to do exactly the same thing. Remember, it doesn't matter what works, it matters what duplicates in our industry. In month 6, we've got 46,500 people sitting in our network doing just above 23 million rand turnover.
Now, the thing is to realize that this is not pie in the sky, because we've actually got clients who have started from a ground floor and within 6 months have got more than 40,000 people in their team. So it sounds like it's pie in the sky, but it's not.
Right.
The difference here, though, is that each of your people are trained to continue to do that after the company blushes, after that exponential growth. Everybody knows how to continue doing that. So they continue to grow your business because there's continued connections with those people via LinkedIn.
Does this also mean that there are 6 iterations of the strategy? Because in month 1, I've got 6 people. I train those 6 people to get 6 people and.
No. But you see, the challenge is there's the 80-20, the Pareto principle.
Right.
Which is that 80% of the people will do nothing.
Yeah.
20% of the people will do most of the work. And of that 20%, there's the Pareto principle again. 80% will be responsible for 20% of the sales and 20% will be responsible for 80%. And you can do that for that top 20%, etc. So, unfortunately, you cannot force people to implement the strategy. But the issue is that if you do teach people to implement the strategy, the people who do implement it will realize this is just a winning process. And now your churn rate is much lower. So for companies that don't have this kind of training, the churn rate's very high.
Right.
The more successful you can make your people, and even if they're making 1 contact a month, signing up 1 person a month through this process, you keep them.
Right.
And your churn rate goes down.
Yes.
So, it would be nice if everybody did 6 and they did 6 and they did 6 and suddenly we were driving Porsches. But the reality is that doesn't happen.
Okay.
You train your guts out and a percentage of the people will do the work.
Yes. Okay.
That's the way it is.
I've got a note here that teaching your network to use LinkedIn is critical to your success. So
I think so.
What you need to do is learn the skills and the strategy yourself, and then you want to be able to go out and teach your people.
Exactly.
Because if they can replicate this strategy, I mean, this will again set fire to your business. So what we want to do next, Richard, is we want to identify the 6 steps to LinkedIn success. So we've listed these things, and the first thing is step 1 is creating the perfect profile. You only have 2 to 3 seconds to capture someone's attention before you lose them as a prospect or a lead.
Exactly.
Right?
And if you look like a muhu, which is a good South African word, if you look like a turkey, then they don't take you seriously. So you got to create credibility in that profile, because the guys check you out before they connect with you.
Yeah, of course it is.
So they go through your profile, they see, are there synergies? Is this somebody I want to connect with? Yes, it is.
So if you can run through the scenario of sending out a connection request and preempting what that person would be seeing when they go through your profile. Set up a great profile picture. We're going to go into the steps, and I'm going to run through quickly now. But setting up a profile picture, setting up a great summary of who you are, who you're about, your experiences, your skills, and your education. If you can identify that through my connection, I'm someone that you want to connect with, you're going to have a great opportunity at converting those people to become your connections.
Exactly.
Cool. Step number 2 is building a network using the search engine and groups, which we're going to get into. This is how we go out and find people and become part of joining a group. The next thing is reaching out to that network. So once you've you're establishing that connection, how do we reach out, and the ways and strategies in which we do that? Step number 4 is starting the conversation with these people. Now we have scripted templates in which you can use, and they are just so easy to use. The beautiful part about it is that it's all written, so I can copy and paste into a written response back to these guys, making it personal, using the person's name, but there's a scripted strategy or template that you can use for approaching these guys.
Isn't that cool? So you don't even have to talk to the person
right
on the phone. If you're kind of phone averse, you can just send this thing to them either via WhatsApp or via the
email and LinkedIn.
Email,
yeah. Step 5 is the responses that they have. So maybe some objection handling and redirecting them to wanting to send out this link for the business opportunity. And then step number 6 is making a call. We want to get these people on the phone, and we'll go through ways in which we do that.
Okay.
Go for
it. Hit me. I'm excited, man. I think this is amazing.
This is brilliant. So
for me, this is a game changer, because the biggest problem everybody has is, where do I find people to talk to?
Yeah.
It's the number one problem.
Right.
And this solves this problem completely.
Yeah.
Finding people is like I go onto LinkedIn, there's 44 bazillion of them just waiting to hear from me. They're kind of sitting there saying, hey, listen, here's my profile. Please talk to me.
Right.
You know? And there's bazillions of the guys.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And these are people that you want to speak to. All the people on Facebook are your friends, and they probably
definitely don't want to speak to them.
No. Exactly. But they also may not have the network marketing experience that you're looking for.
Well, even if they do, the issue is that when I go onto LinkedIn, the guy says, I am interested in bodybuilding, or I am interested in cycling,
right,
or I'm interested in whatever. So if I go and look for groups that are interested in what I'm selling, maybe I'm selling a cycling supplement, I go and look for groups that have got cycling, and suddenly I'm connecting with people who are interested in the stuff I'm selling.
Sure.
They're telling me.
Yes.
That's what makes it so amazing.
Exactly. And you can find those synergies, and because their synergies exist, that's where we establish a relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So we're going to reference Scott Aaron again. And what he said is, when building the perfect profile, remember this is step 1, is building a compelling profile that people, when coming across, will want to connect back with you. So he recommends using a power adjective. Now, the adjective is something that describes who you are in a meaningful, impactful way. So what he said here is he's the president, CEO, and founder of Scott Aaron LinkedIn Books. All right. So it's a very strong title, and it captures someone straight off the bat.
I'm with you.
So the next thing he says is we want to list at least 3 experiences. So your experiences are the jobs that you've held, or the job titles you've held in the past. Now, the reason that we want to do something like that is because I can connect with people on a number of levels. And let's say one of my experiences as a bartender.
Okay.
Right? I can connect with someone who's also had a listed experience as a bartender, always in the bartending industry, always in hospitality industry, because I can relate to them straight away. I have synergies with them.
How about if you connect with people who were standing topless in a London store?
I don't know what you're talking about. Full disclosure. We won't mention Abercrombie and Fitch. We won't mention it here.
Under any circumstances.
Under any circumstances. The sex... Was that a slip?
Freudian slip, oh dear.
Caleb, please block that out. And sorry for everyone listening. My face isn't red. It's not red at all.
Completely red. Okay, so where were we?
We're going back to what Scott Aaron said. You can't do that live. You just can't.
No, sorry. I take it back.
The next thing we want to build is a summary. And what Scott Aaron says is that within your profile on LinkedIn, you have the opportunity to create a summary. We want to tell a story. You're going to have to do this.
So the bottom line is what you're wanting to do is you want to tell a story that sort of sucks people in. I mean, at the end of the day, again, they're going through your profile. So they've seen a picture, they know who you are, and then and you're really doing well at the moment. And then you're really doing a good job of actually tying this down and showing them where the synergies are. So that if you are going after cyclists, you want to be talking about cycling, etc.
Sure.
So kind of that's for me where that is going.
And I think even more to that is that we want people to connect with us on a personal level. They need to understand who we are, not only through the business sense, because I have that chance to connect with people because they immediately, through the summary, like who I am, not only through my business experiences. Okay, let's move on, please.
Okay, let's not even look at me. Look at the slides.
The next thing is that there are hundreds of thousands of groups out there that we are able to join. And we want to join with groups that have synergies with who we are, what we represent, and what our product offering is. So
you can search for those groups.
We can search for those groups. And I'm going to actually go through into a live demo of LinkedIn,
okay.
which would be pretty cool. But one of his points is that we want to join groups that have a reflection to who you are, to you and who you are.
So they reflect your likes and dislikes and your things you're interested
Correct.
in, etc. Okay,
exactly. Cool. The fifth part, the point that he makes is that we don't want to list anything to do with network marketing or direct sales. We want people to like and fall in love with who we are and the passion and values that we express
and the products
as a person,
yeah,
as well as the excellent products that we're offering.
We don't want them making a judgment call because they think they know what MLM is. They don't know what MLM is, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to just be putting MLM out there because the guy's going to make or the girl's going to make the decision based on their preconceived ideas. And as we've been through all of these videos that we've done over the years,
yeah,
MLM is a real business. It's a real opportunity. It's got a bad rap because people do very little or nothing in the business. So mentioning that it's MLM just gives the wrong impression of what you're trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell them about your product, you tell them about your yourself, you get them involved and interested, and then you can send them the content that they need to evaluate whether this is an opportunity for them.
Right. We're always wanting to push the product first. If they can fall in love with who we are and the product that we represent, it'll give us enough opportunity to establish this likeliness towards us. And once we've established that, and we find ways in which to continue contacting, communicating with these people, forming this relationship, that when we go out and approach them with the business opportunity, it's a far easier transition to coming into the network.
I'm with you.
Okay. The last thing we want to do is complete everything. So from certifications to the causes to your skills and education, you want to build a profile that is compelling enough for people to want to connect with you. And what Scott Aaron has is a platform called traineroflinkedin.com. It's a site that he's created, and he builds out all the elements that you can adopt in which to build the perfect profile. So I just recommend that everyone goes into that if they are very interested at building the perfect profile, just to get further insights.
Yeah, and I would suggest that you read the book as well. You know, the fact that we didn't like the last chapter is definitely no reason not to read the book.
Sure.
Because a lot of information in there that you'll be able to sit down and absorb in a much slower way than what we're doing through this podcast.
Right, exactly. Okay, so step number 2 is, and I'm conscious of the time here because I want to hit our 60-minute mark. Step number 2 is building a list through the search engine and groups. Let's look at the groups first. So we want to find groups that have synergy with us and synergy with our product. Okay, and then we want to ask those groups if we can join. So what I've got here, Richard, and everyone listening out there, is I've created a fictitious character called Dean Shaw. So Dean is a founder of Nutritional Life. He's a wellness coach. He's an industry podcaster. He's a business coach for personal branding and growth. So he's in the health and wellness industry. Now, what Dean is wanting to do is he's wanting to tap into groups that have a big network of people all speaking about
Health and wellness.
health and wellness,
Okay.
because they have synergies with who Dean is and his product offering. So I'm just going to take you through how to find groups.
Okay, I'm watching.
In the top right section of Dean's profile,
Yep.
there's an icon called group.
Okay.
And then we have all the various LinkedIn products. Okay, let's focus now on groups. So we're going to click into groups. And what LinkedIn now does is it shows all the groups that you're currently connected with. And the second tab here is all the pending group requests. So you can see right now, I've requested to join the Health and Wellness Networking group. The admin of that group is assessing my request, and once he's approved it, I'll then move into my groups where I have full access to that group. I can post content and engage with all the people in that group.
That's cool.
Okay?
100%.
This is the way in which to search groups.
Of course, just a big thing is that don't go and try and beat those people to death by marketing to them, because you'll get kicked out the group chop.
So groups have certain policies that you have to adhere to. So I would recommend reading those policies, because we don't want to get kicked out of group and be blacklisted from them.
Exactly.
Okay. We've typed in the search bar at the top here, health and wellness, because this is the industry that we're in, and we're trying to attract people with synergies in our business. What LinkedIn does is it brings up the full list of search results for groups, people, companies, events, jobs, and so on. What we want to do here is we want to filter out for groups only.
Okay.
Now, just through health and wellness, there's 3,900 groups that you can look into and join.
And can you make them regional, for example? Can you say only groups in Cape Town or
We
South
can do
Africa
that.
or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
So you set the filter for the location, and because you're only operating within South Africa, you can set to only
You only see
have the search
groups in
results.
that. Okay,
Correct.
fantastic.
So let's say I've sent out an application request or a request to join the group for the Health and Wellness Networking group. Let's say we go into the Health and Wellness Marketing group. I can click on this, and immediately it tells me that this is a listed group. There's over 18,000 people in this group. It has an about section that says Innovation and Scientific Advances in Health and Wellness is growing in the US. This group is for those looking to create business opportunities and so on. Just through that about section, I can identify if this is a group that I want to become part of, because there's 18,000 people in this group, and they're speaking the same language as I am within the health and wellness space. So all it requires is me to click a button to request to join. The request is then sent out to the page admin. They assess my profile, and they will accept or reject my request.
Okay, nice.
Okay. How easy is that?
That's pretty simple. So
Okay.
now I'm in the group.
So now you're in the group. And at that point, you can start posting content on the health and wellness space, and you can start interacting with people. Once someone begins interacting with you, you can open a discussion with that person, connect with them on LinkedIn, and then start a direct message chat with them and start discussing this business opportunity.
Is there a limit to how many of these groups I can join?
So you can do 12 searches per month. So you have to be quite, you have to refine these searches. You have to be very mindful of the keywords you use, and do the research on these groups. Because if you're only able to connect with 12 a month, you want them to be the right 12 that you connect with.
I hear you.
The next part of building a list is the search engine, and this is connecting with people one-on-one, right? So we want to search for like-minded people that have synergies with ourselves and with our products. Now, when I connect with you, when I send out a request and you come back with a successful connection, you become our first degree connection. Okay, so LinkedIn works in this way. So we are our first connections. We spoke about that sphere of influence that our people have. So if I'm looking for your sphere of influence and everyone that you connected to, that becomes people in my second connection.
Okay.
And through the free paid for means of operating on LinkedIn, I can actually go out and approach the people that you know. LinkedIn also has the next connection point, which is the third connection to me. So the people that you know more people, which is a third connection to me. It sounds a little bit complicated, but what LinkedIn offers is a paid-for platform, which is called Sales Navigator, and it's about 1,100 Rand in its current state today. So we
It's
don't
like $80 or something.
We don't recommend using it. We believe we can establish enough of a network just through first and second degree connections. Okay, I want to actually go into how we do this. Right, so I'm going to swipe back to the LinkedIn profile page, and remembering that we want to connect with people that have synergies with our products and ourselves. So here I've typed in health and wellness, which again brings up all search results. I can click onto people, and that's going to bring up all the people that have some sort of association to health and wellness, whether they be health and wellness specialists.
And that was one of your searches?
That was one.
You got 12 of those, you just done one.
Very different in searching for people.
Oh.
There's an unlimited search.
Oh, really?
But there's a cap on the people that you can connect with, which is 3,000 per month.
Okay.
So I can't send out more than 3,000 connection requests every single month.
That's a lot of connections.
It's a lot of connections. But what LinkedIn does is that there's also a per day cap of 100 people.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Right? So 3,000 a month and 100 capped per day. So still, it is a lot of people, but we want to refine our searches so that we're searching for the right people.
And how many would you connect with normally in a day?
Your aim is, and I actually want to get into this, is that you want to connect with between 25 and 50 people every single day.
Okay.
Okay. Very quickly, I'll show you how this works. Is that I've searched for health and wellness and I've brought out the people. I'm going to go into a guy called Travis Victor. He's a health and wellness specialist. He lives in the city of Cape Town, which is where we currently reside, and he's a second connection. What that means is that through my connections, this person, Travis Victor, is connected to that connection of mine. Right? It's very simple. I can go through the about section and I can identify that this is the person that I want to connect with because they have synergies with myself or my products. I can go through his experiences, which we spoke about earlier, and he's done a great job at compiling his full profile so that I can get understanding of who he is and where he's come from. It's very simple to connect, Richard.
Okay.
All I do is hit the connect button and I send out that connection request.
You're not doing that now, though.
What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to one of our team members here in Netready is Caleb Locke. I'm going to send him out a connection request.
Does he know he's getting it?
I hope so. I've told him, so you better be on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I've done now is I've
just
sent out
in case anybody's wondering, he's actually
next door listening.
No, not next door listening. He's actually switching this podcast. He's our audio engineer that's dealing with this.
So as we wait for him to accept that request, I'm going to move on to the next section, which is step number 3, reaching out to the network. Now, I mentioned that we want to connect with 25 to 50 people every single day. Right? We want to continue adding people to the list so that we never run out of people to talk to, because if we run out of people to talk to, we don't have a business. Okay? It's simple and easy to do. There are strategies in which you have to put in place to manage your LinkedIn profile and the connections that you get in every single day. Right? So I want to just go through this, and first thing I want to do, and I'll do a real life example, is that we want to click on my network and go to see all. At this point, we're able to see all the connections that we currently have. If it's 5, 100, if it's 1,000, we'll be able to see them coming in chronological order. From the latest connection will be at the top of this list. And we're going to go into that list now. The strategy behind this is that we're doing this on a daily basis. So we need to have a marker set per day so that we know who has come in over the past 24-hour period, so that we understand
who we need to reach out to.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to do searches. Searches consist of searching for groups on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And remember, we have a 12 limits to sending a request to joining groups. Okay. So there's a strategy to your week. We're working on a 7-day week in this example. Then we want to send out direct people-to-people connection requests on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Okay.
Remember, we have a cap of 1,000 people that we can send out requests to every single month. And then what we want to do is direct message those people that have accepted our connection request and have become part of our network.
Okay.
So let's see how that works.
Has anybody accepted your request yet?
I'm hoping Caleb has. So we've on Caleb's profile. What happens here in LinkedIn is that I get a notification on email saying that you've got a new connection request, and I can click and it will redirect me straight to that person's profile. I can also see that within my notifications, you see there's a little one up here.
Okay.
I've got a new notification.
Okay.
But in my network, I've also got that one, which means Caleb has now, he's actually sent me a request.
He sent you a request.
So what I'm going to do here...
So he didn't just accept your request, he sent one to you.
He sent one back.
Not paying attention when we
Yeah.
told him what to do.
But what a lovely guy.
I know. Good point.
What I mentioned was we can click on my network and then see all over here. So I can see all of the connections, right? So who am I connected to? I'm connected to Stuart Calder, who I connected with 1 day ago. I can also see Caleb, who I connected with 13 seconds ago. And because Caleb was the most recent connection, they are at the top of the list.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So if I were to adopt that strategy of putting a marker to my list here, I would have put a marker just above Stuart because I know he came in
Can
a
you
day
put a
ago.
marker into the system, or do you have to write it down?
You'd have to write it down. Unfortunately,
Oh, so you can't actually put a marker in
no.
LinkedIn. You have to write down Stuart Calder was the guy I connected with yesterday, and anybody who comes after him are people I need to reach out to.
Exactly. Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Got it.
What we can do from that point on is, remember I mentioned we can direct message these people. So Caleb, I want to speak to. What happens in the bottom bar here is it pops up our in-mail message platform, which I can connect with them directly.
Fantastic.
Now we have scripts for this.
Oh, have you got a script ready?
We've got scripts ready.
No, come on.
How cool is this? Step number 4 is starting the conversation with these leads once they've connected with you. Okay.
Are we going to provide these scripts for download, or?
We are.
Okay.
So thank you for mentioning that, because if you're new to LinkedIn, there's a whole sign-in process to establishing and building your LinkedIn profile. We've got that as a downloadable file, so we're going to put that into the comments section after this, and you can just click it, download it, and follow that step-by-step process to setting up the perfect profile.
Okay.
Okay.
100%.
So we can identify the person that we want to send a message to. I always believe, and we recommend, that doing research on the person that you're going to be speaking to is imperative. We need to be understanding where the synergies lie in the relationship that we're about to build. Because if I can connect with them on that level immediately, then I'm on the right path to establishing a successful relationship with you. Okay? So we want to do some research on the person before we start our conversation, and then we want to in-mail them, direct message them. Now, we've got an example that we want to take you through, and this is scripted. This is a template, and this is what everyone can use to write to this prospect when they've connected with you. You know the example of Dean Shaw. He's in the health and wellness space, and he's got a health and wellness product. What he would be saying is something like this. So he's connected with, let's say, Jim.
Okay.
Hi, Jim. It's great to be connected with you. I'm specifically looking to connect with people who have a passion for assisting individuals with their own personal health and wellness goals. If you feel this is you, would you have some time to discuss how we can change lives together? Have a great day. Dean Shaw, Joe Smith. Okay. Now, the key line here, Richard, is that if you feel this is you. So there's no pressure to sell something to this person. All we're trying to say is that if you do feel like this is something that you would like to do and would like to hear a little bit more, then let's connect.
I'm with you.
Okay. Now there's 3...
Swipe left, swipe right.
Exactly. We're not going to go back to what I said earlier.
Please
slip.
don't. Please don't start that now. Come on.
There are 3 potential responses that you can get here. The first one is yes, the next one is no, and the next one is nothing. The person can choose to not even respond to you at all. And this happens, but there's a 33% chance out of those options that they'll say yes. So what do we do when they say yes? Step number 5 is the response to people saying yes. Okay. Now we've got a couple of examples, and the first one that we want to go through here is a potential response someone would have to that first message that we had sent out. Jim would say, yes, but can you be more specific? Your response would be, specifically, I'm looking to connect with someone who has a deep passion and interest for changing global health. Do you have 2 minutes to talk?
So exactly. Specifically, that's what I'm doing. So, but not being at all specific.
Right. Not at all.
Because you can't explain the thing to him here. You need an opportunity. You want to get his cell phone number. You want to be able to WhatsApp him. You want to start a conversation, and you can't do that here. So what you're trying to do here is get a much more personal connection with the person.
Right. What we're trying to do here is also, so we're building our list, and then we're approaching the people. But right now, you may or may not, and we're going to say you may not have the skills necessary in which to have someone on the phone and explain the business opportunity in a way better than something that the company tools would be able to explain the business. So what are we trying to do here? We want them to get onto a 2-minute phone call with us. And at that point, we want to use the hurry out the door technique, which we're going to go into. And all we wanting to do is to be able to send them the link that directs them towards an explanation of this business opportunity. Because it's going to explain it better than you ever will over the phone. Okay? So a 2 minutes call is enough time to have the hurry out the door concept, get the link over to them so that they can watch it, and you can set the date for that next exposure. The next yes response example is, yes, but can you send me some more information? Now, we've seen this happen. What works best is to say something like, I would love to send you some more information, but I'm not sure what information is best to send. Do you have 2 minutes for a call? Or what usually works better is a WhatsApp chat. Okay, so what is the call to action here? Either we get her to commit to jumping on the phone for a 2-minute call, or we can direct the conversation now to WhatsApp. So at this point, they will provide their details for WhatsApp, and then you'll start the communication off LinkedIn onto the platform of WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Now this becomes very powerful because you have their number and you're now engaging with them directly.
And I must say that this is something what I've told people about this specific part, that you can do this via WhatsApp. You just see the lights go on. Because a lot of people are afraid to make that personal physical call, and especially in the modern age where people are so used to WhatsApping and instant messaging and SMS and Skype and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This whole concept of being able to communicate with you via WhatsApp is powerful, and it takes all of the
pressure,
the pressure and the fear away, because
Right.
you can actually construct your communication and you can send it off to the person. Of course, we're providing those scripts that you can just tweak and use as they are.
Yeah, and we usually say that if WhatsApp is a fantastic platform, but if the person's not willing to jump onto a 2-minute call for you, are they the right people that you want in the business because of the fear of jumping on that call?
Well, that is the other thing. It's not just the fear of jumping on the call. If they're not prepared to make that commitment to talk to you, then what's the point in actually having them in the business?
Right. Okay.
So you walk away from those people who won't actually communicate with you.
Right. Okay. So what happens when you establish that time to set up the call? So step number 6 is making the call. I said 6 there.
You did say
I promise
6.
you I said 6.
You did.
Okay.
Don't start that one again. I'm going to be canning myself again.
So before the call, we want to identify again where the synergies lie with a person. So we want to go into their profile and do a full background check. We want to, and then we want to structure this opening so that there is synergy that exists. So I've got a recommendation. Please don't look at me. We've got a recommendation on the script. So as soon as you make this call, you say, Jim, thank you so much for being transparent and sharing your story with me. So immediately you've complimented this person. Would you be interested in learning about how you and I can impact lives together? Jim says,
Yeah, I'd love to.
Great. I don't have a lot of time now. So this is the hurry out the door concept. I don't have a lot of time now, but if I send you a link that contains more information, would you look at it?
Yeah, of course.
Great. Excellent. When do you think you have time to look at it for sure?
Probably this afternoon.
Okay. Perfect. If I give you a call tomorrow, what time suits you best?
So 10 o'clock.
Okay. Great. I'll call you at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Unfortunately, I've got to run. I look forward to chatting to you then. Cheers. So there's this whole hurry out the door concept, but I've got you, Jim, to commit to a time that I can call you next because you've agreed that you will watch the business opportunity link that I'm going to send you.
And all of this could have been done over WhatsApp. That's the magic of this.
It's brilliant.
Hey, Stuart, if I send you a link, will you take a look at it? Sure. When do you think you'll be able to look at it for sure? I'll do it tomorrow. Fantastic. So if I call you on Friday, you would have looked at it for sure, right? Absolutely. Excellent. I'll call you on Friday. What time suits you? 10 o'clock. Fantastic. Call you 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
All of that can be done over WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I don't have time to talk now. You can use exactly the same things. I don't have time to talk now. Or specifically, I'm looking for somebody who can link arms with me and make a massive difference to the world.
Right.
So I think that the beauty of this is, as you just did, we could do this over the phone, but you can do it over WhatsApp or Instagram or any of those kind of instant messaging platforms.
Yeah, agreed. And the hurry out the door concept, we're coming to the India, the hurry out the door concept, that what is the intention of that? Is it to make sure that you don't disclose too much information over a call, a WhatsApp, and you'd rather direct them to a recording of a business opportunity?
Look, the thing is, when you're getting started in the multi-level marketing industry, you know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And to actually get your skills to a point where you are good enough to be able to personally pitch the business,
Yeah.
I mean, that takes time. So if you want to be successful, what you want to do is you want to avoid doing the pitch yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hurrying out the business. So if you ask me to do the pitch to you, I don't have to do it because I'm hurrying out.
Mm.
So the whole idea is to have a really powerful company-produced tool. So it's either a product presentation, or it's an opportunity presentation, or whatever it is, some excellent tool that the guys can actually point to. So I say to you, hey, Stuart, if I send you a link, will you take a look at it?
Sure.
Okay. You say, sure. The link I'm sending you is this pre-recorded powerhouse tool. If I send you a link to a webinar we're holding, would you join us on the webinar? If I send you a brochure to look through, would you take a look through it? For all of those things are really easy connections to make because I'm pointing at the tool.
Mm.
Yeah, but what is this about? Look, I don't have time to do it now. I'm rushing out the door.
Right.
But I promise you, the tool I'm giving you, the link I'm sending you will explain it 10 times better than I could ever explain it. So if I send you the link, will you take a look at it?
Sure.
You say yes. When do you think you'll be able to look at it? For sure.
Mm-hmm.
You say Friday.
Yeah.
Excellent. So if I called you on Saturday, you've looked at it for sure, right?
Yes.
You say yes. Excellent. I'll give you a call on Saturday.
Yeah.
What time suits you best?
Right. And I guess, yeah.
Sorry.
So you're having, if you follow these strategies, you're also having 40 conversations a week. Now, if you're having 40 conversations a week, how do you have time to be presenting the business opportunity to these people, no matter how well you know this?
So when you become more experienced, what happens is you become the tool, not that people are pointing at. You become the resource that people are pointing their network to.
Right.
So I would say, hey, Stuart, Caleb is going to be doing a presentation of this cool opportunity. If I send you a link to his webinar, will you join me? You say yes. Now I'm pointing at Caleb. He's good. Down the road, you become the expert. Now when I bring somebody on, I'm pointing at Stuart. Hey, Stuart is going to be doing a presentation. Or my friend Stuart is going to be sharing how this business works. If I send you a link, will you join? So you might become an expert and you might be doing the presentation, but you will be doing the presentation to your networks team. When you're introducing your own people, you don't want to be the expert. You want to point at the tools that the company has created, or that your upline's created, or that the people in your organization, or you might have even created it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. As long as you're not trying to pitch the business during this presentation to the guy, because that's not going to work. That's a sure way of the guy saying, no, I'm not interested in being gone.
Yeah.
Because when you follow up with the guy, you're not going to say, what do you think? The last thing on earth you're going to say. I say, hey, Stuart, pretty awesome. What was the thing you liked most? And now I'm focusing you on what you like most. I know that's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yes.
And now I can take the next step and say on a scale of 0, with 0 being I'm not at all interested, and 10 being I'm extremely interested, where do you think you are at the moment? And you're going to give me a number.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're telling me is you need a bit more information. If I send you another link with some information on this, would you take a look at it? Right. You see, I can move you to the next connection, the next exposure. You say yes. When do you think you'll be able to look at it? For sure. Excellent. The link's on its way.
Yeah.
I'll call you on Saturday.
And I think it's key for business owners, the ones listening now, is to understand that you need to be creating these company tools to assist people as when they're joining in the network, and the strategies in which they need to adopt when approaching a prospect.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And from a CEO's point of view,
right,
if you understand the process flow, which is the whole process flow, it's, hey, I need to help my people to understand why this is an incredibly valuable business that they're in. Why is this a real business? Then I need to show them how to get leads. Then I need to show them how to convert those leads into prospects. Then I need to show them how to convert the prospects into customers or downline members. And then I need to show them how to start those people and get them out the blocks. All of that is part of the training. And this here, if you don't have people to talk to, you don't have a business. And what this gives us is it gives us an infinite number of people to talk to, and we literally go in here and we click a button and say, please connect with me. And a percentage of the people will connect with you. You do it right, a large percentage. If you do it badly, a small percentage. So even if you're doing it badly, people will connect with you.
Right.
Even if you're useless at it, people will join your organization. So that's what I love about this. I think this is just incredible.
I think it's brilliant, and I think we've outlined a number of the ways in which we can build a comprehensive list of people that we can speak to. If we're not building a list of people we can speak to, we don't have a business. Okay, Richard,
Exactly.
thank you so much for your time.
That was awesome. How many minutes did we have left?
I think we might have run over time.
Oh, how rude.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Apologies for running late. Richard, thank you so much for
Well,
your
thank
time.
you, Stuart. That was brilliant.
Yeah, we loved
Super
it.
exciting
Yeah.
about this, yeah.
I think if business owners can understand this and then teach it to the network, create the company tools and the strategies in which to have your network learn how to prospect and
Exactly.
continually build their lead list, you'll never run out of people to talk to, and your
And your
business.
business will flourish.
Exactly. Thank
Okay, well, my friend, that was awesome.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for dedicating your time to us here at Netready. We appreciate it as always. We'll be back next week on Tuesday at 10 o'clock Central African time. Let me just get behind this mic here. Please follow us on all of our channels. We've got our LinkedIn, Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube channel. We've also got a new channel coming up, Rumble.
Rumble, yes. Rumble in the jungle.
How do we do the Rumble?
I don't know. Yeah.
We've also got Rumble, which we'll put up onto our Facebook page so that you'll be able to click through and then follow us on that platform. We're adding crucial content and information about the multi-level marketing industry every single week. So we look forward to having you join us there. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
Cheers.